Azul Cosmetic Surgery and Medical Spa. I'm so happy to welcome back to the show this morning Dr. Patrick Flaherty. Good morning.
Morning, Carly.
I love our topic this morning. I think it's so interesting. We're going to talk about how there are procedures that can be done today that are not your mother's facelift, which I think is so interesting because technology has changed so much over the last several years, really kind of more recently too. And people, I think, are sometimes misled, or maybe they have some misconceptions about what's possible these days.
Oh yeah, I mean there's so much possible now,
Yeah.
both surgically and non-surgically. But one of the biggest fears people have is fear of facelifts because they have a story of a grandparent or a friend or a relative who had something done 10 or 20 years ago and wasn't quite thrilled with that result. So
Yeah.
what they don't realize is that techniques have gotten so much better. Our understanding of the anatomy has gotten so much better. The results have improved dramatically, and the whole process is much simpler.
Well, and what it goes back to is when you, see people out in public where you can really tell they've had something done, that's what you don't want, but it's those ones that really you can't tell. There's a reason why you can't tell they've had a facelift done or something done.
Right, yeah, I would argue for every person you see who looks kind of unnatural and you can tell they've had something done, there's probably 10 people who look great and you have no idea that they've had something done. So really, the results now can be completely invisible and look very natural, and no one really needs to know you've had something done.
Well, and while you were saying it's not your mom's facelift, even the process, the recovery process afterwards, I mean, kind of every aspect of what goes on with the actual procedure now is different, right?
Yeah, as you mentioned, technology's gotten better, anesthesia's gotten better. We don't use general anesthesia for facelifts anymore. We just use IV sedation, so patients are in a nice twilight sleep, and they wake up very clear-headed, just like
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So just like a colonoscopy, that's it. So that's nice. The anesthesia is easier. The timing for the surgery is shorter. People go home the same day, and most people are out socially within 1 to 2 weeks. Now, obviously, depending on what we're doing, there's a pretty wide range of options. But almost everybody is out socializing by 2 weeks. So
well, and we have a great example that we're going to show this morning of where it just really looks like a natural facelift, where you really can't. You can tell. I mean, look at her neck there.
Yes.
But she doesn't look like she's really had a whole lot done.
Yeah. So that's again the key is. When we're doing lifting and tightening, it has to be done at a deep level, so there's no tension on the skin, and so you can see all the tissues are repositioned naturally. There's no pulling, and she's a fairly recent post-op. She was just in 2 days ago. I took these photos. But you can see, dramatic improvement in the neck. And, people forget the pre-picture, too. Unless you show them pre and post, they'll just say, gee, you look good. Did you lose weight? Have you changed your hair? It's really wonderful, even people close to them, because you forget what's not there. And so, it's a very natural kind of rejuvenation of the face. And really makes people look refreshed, but not different.
Yeah, well, and she looks rather young. I mean, what is the best age to kind of do the facelift as well?
Well, I think, when the skin is still in good shape, it's a little bit easier. So that's often in the 50s.
Okay.
50s,
so that's kind of maybe
sort of
prime
the
time
ideal.
to go ahead and maybe look at that option.
Yes. But, we do see patients, in the 60s and 70s a lot now. A lot of people maybe didn't think they'd want to do that, but now they're still healthy and active and they're in their 70s and they come in. So that's a very common age. So it's never really too late as long as you're reasonably healthy. But ideally, the 50s is nice because that's a good age for
Now,
it.
when people come in, do they know they already want to have a facelift, or that's what they want to look at, or do they come in and just look at all the options? What do you recommend people do if they just realize, hey, I'm not as young as I would like to look, and I want some help?
So in a consultation, we do look at the entire structure of the face, and then we lay out all the options, both the surgical and the non-surgical.
Okay.
And there's so much that can be done, with minimal or no downtime in-office procedures. And so I think it's important for people to understand all their options first, and then from there they can develop a plan that makes sense.
And sometimes you add other options even when you are doing, the plastic surgery as well. There's other things that you can do, other little procedures, whether it's eyelids or...
Yeah, often if we're doing a full face, we would do brow, face and neck, and then often we'll do fat too. We add fat to the face, which provides some filling. We lose fat from our face with age. That's what makes us look thinner and gaunt. And when we take your own natural living fat and put it back into the face, it gives you that youthful fullness. And
which again is a relatively new process that I don't think people have been doing, you know, until just recently.
Well, the technology has improved recently, and so the survival of the fat is much better. So it's a living filler.
Well, certainly people need to come in for a consult. That's easy enough. Tell people where they can find you. You have 2 offices here in Southwest Florida. We
do. We have one in Fort Myers. It's right off, it's at Parker Commons, right off Daniels, kind of on your way out towards 75, between 6 Mile Cypress and 75. And our second office is right near Coconut Point at Coconut and 41 in Bonita. And of course, we'll put all that info on our website so it's easy for people to find as well, foxformorningblend.com. And then there is also 2 special offers. We have to get to those pretty quickly this morning, but they are great. So the first one this month? Yeah, Britton, who's our nurse injector, has been very busy all summer, and we have a special with any Botox or fillers. It's $100 off if you schedule with Britton, and she's in both offices. And then Debbie, who's our laser technician, she's a physician assistant, and we're $100 off for the photo facial to help get rid of those brown spots. All right, Dr. Flaherty, thank you so much. We look forward to having you back. Thanks, Carly. All right, we'll send it over to Steph.
One last look at your Fox forecast, and then we'll be right back.